Hello, welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. It is staycation, which means we have the amazing Sarah here all week. Hello. And everything is better when Sarah's around.
Oh.
So, but I am here it's 2024. I am here 366 days this year. To take your political questions, just leave your questions in the chat, in the chat before I come on. 10% of my income from everything Black and Orange goes to Feeding America at feedingamerica.org, which supplies food to food banks across the country. That is an ongoing thing. We have got epic troll slayers who keep us safe. And we've got a fantastic community here because of you. You have been so kind to me. You've been so kind to each other. You have been so kind to Miss Sarah. Thank you.
Yes.
And if you're watching this on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there, so you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back the whole thing on like 1.25 speed, which I do a lot. So, all right. I don't remember anything about what the questions are, so hit me.
Okay. So here's if that's any indication of what's up today. Those are the earrings for today.
Those are your earrings today. Those are awesome.
I do want to preface this with I'll be taking care of the time stamping as we go. I'll be saving as we go. If I go, I might go poof. We have a storm.
Okay.
But I will try to, if I go somewhere, I'm okay. There's just, yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I can find.
I can send you the link.
No, I've got it. I've got the tab open somewhere. It's just a matter of it should be right. That was yesterday. So the next one should be it. Okay.
Yes, Ricky, honey. Take it. He says, Autumn, I'm back in the hospital because I was dehydrated. I'm gonna get well, but have an extended absence, sweetie.
I hope you get better. I hope you're okay soon.
Yes.
Oh, you're such a good person, Ricky.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so I've got. If you go poof, I can see the questions now.
All right, awesome sauce.
All right, so we're starting out with the story. I don't.
Yes.
There may not even be a reading, but there's
not really a reading. It's just at 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Okay, y'all. We have discussed how I'm from the South and I'm from Louisiana, and we do things completely differently down here. We are our own little entity, basically. I mean, from parishes versus counties and whatever. Southern governors all have their moments, okay? I don't know if y'all remember back in Arkansas a few years ago, they were renovating the governor's mansion, and Mike Huckabee and little baby Smokey Eye had to go stay in a triple wide trailer while they were renovating the thing, and everybody made a big brouhaha about that. Southern governor in a triple wide, whatever. It's now Louisiana's turn. We just recently got a new governor. We have gone from John Bel Edwards to Jeff Landry. I don't particularly care for Jeff Landry, but those reasons are my own on that one, other than the fact that he's just a butt. But anywho, yeah. John Bel Edwards used to raise chickens in the governor's mansion. He had a little pen. He raised chickens, supplied his own eggs.
I'm guessing behind. I'm guessing it wasn't in the governor's mansion?
No, it's over there. They have a little greenhouse. It's back in there. Yeah.
Okay.
And so had a little chicken pen, whatnot. Well, during the change of power, Landry was like, but those are the governor's chickens. You can't take your chickens. How petty you got to be to steal a man's chickens? How petty do you have to be to go, no, you can't take those with you. Now, he has since retracted it, and they packed them all up and sent them safely to John Bell's house, but took his chickens.
In 2023, how petty you got to be to take a man's chickens?
2024, just straight
2024, up. 2024, sorry.
No, you're good. Okay.
Let me just ask, Louisiana politics, is it ever going to change? Is it ever going to change? Because I lived in exactly salty government chickens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I lived in Baton Rouge off and on for about a decade, for almost a decade, and yeah, I've they definitely have their own culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I know more the southern part of the state than the northern part, but yeah, they don't have counties. They have their parishes. If you become a lawyer there, it's really hard to become a lawyer anywhere else because they're still using the Napoleonic Code,
yeah,
which nobody else in the country is using. I mean, it's just but there's also amazing food and there's amazing culture and there's but it's its own thing. But it's the first place I voted. But that's how I ended up voting against David Duke twice.
I love you.
Because he's a scumbag. Thank you.
Yes, he is. Mm-hmm.
Is Louisiana politics ever going to change? Card for the reading is the Eight of Swords. It has its problems. It has its limitations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Seven of Swords, Moon. There may have been a little bit of corruption in the past.
Stairs and Edwin Edwards.
Not soon. It's I mean, there have been some, maybe these really bad scandals are in the past, so maybe it might only be kind of awful, corrupt, and financially poor and burdened by the right, but some of the worst stuff is behind it. Yay.
Yay.
Deanna Bennett says Mexico uses the Napoleonic Code.
Huh.
First of all, I did not know that. Second of all, I misspoke. I meant in the U.S. Nobody else does it in the U.S. I'm so sorry. I mean, obviously, I would imagine France has some form of the Napoleonic Code.
Probably been evolved a bit, but yeah.
No, but some form of is my guess, but I don't know. All right.
Okay, so Mom says, do you get chickens when you're voting? No, I think John Bell he served 2 terms, or he's termed out. I think it's like 2 or 3 terms. I don't know. Anyway, and the original chickens were gifted to him like the second month of his first term. He was gifted like 2 chicks. And over these years, he's raised them. He and his family have raised their progeny. I mean, like, we are no longer at the original 2 little, somebody ran a Tractor Supply and got 2 baby chicks and handed it to the governor for a photo op. Like, we have a flock of chickens that have been cultivated. And Landry's like, but those are the state's chickens.
State's chickens.
You gonna go out there and you gonna handle it, sir? Is that what you gonna do? You gonna take care of them? I mean, like, the Edwards had given these babies names and they were spoiled and like, but yeah, you gonna be out there and be Mr. Billy Bad Butt and talk about, I'm gonna keep the chickens. I can't with people. The petty. Oh my God, the petty. Speaking of petty, you ready?
My 2 favorite weeks of the year when Sarah's here every day. Go ahead, my friend.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. My headbands don't work well when I've got my hair pulled back because they just slide off my big head. So y'all just gonna have to deal with me.
Cherry Bomb says, I want to start a new tradition. You get the key to the governor's mansion and a chicken.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Valerie Sargent says they'll just end up in state foster care.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sandy says Billy Bad, but yes, I have to watch my mouth. Okay, so speaking of Petty Betty stuff, this was going to be a regular Black and Orange episode with like random things, and then I stumbled across an article that just detailed all of Trump's headaches this week. All of his legal headaches this week. So we're going to go through them.
Please.
I'm just going to warn everybody, if you're tired of Trump, this may not be the episode for you, because it is entirely about Orangina and the legal mess that all hits this week. So, oh goodness. This week begins a big week for Donald Trump as he deals with some of his cases having major deadlines and in-court meetings. Let's look at them separately, shall we?
Yes, please.
At 10:50 today is when the Georgia racketeering case lawyers must file all their motions by the close of business today. That is, except for Meadows, Jeffrey Clark, and David Schafer, who were granted extensions. Rudy tried to get an extension, but was denied. So Trump has... Late last night, early this morning, Trump filed 3 motions for dismissal. One was on the grounds of presidential immunity. Another was that it was double jeopardy since he was already impeached on this matter by the Senate.
But
The
no,
mental gymnastics on that is...
no,
yeah,
the one has nothing to do with the other.
right. And the last was that he'd been denied due process. All of these smack of desperation. So, how's Georgia looking overall for Trump?
Wow, talk about smacking of desperation.
Mhm. Easy squeeze box says, my son left his little flock of chickens with me one cold December night when he moved back from Colorado, and now they dominate my life. They do that.
Yes, the little critters
Mhm.
that need our attention. They just
Mhm.
our lives just bend around them. Well, Dumpy, things may not be going well for you.
Oh.
Ooh, behind that's even worse. Okay, but he's trying to pretend. But I'm sitting pretty. I was the president.
Mhm.
And this was just work. And this has been taken care of. No, this is a con. In this deck, this card isn't just work, it's a con. In the regular deck, it's usually like the magician that can be the biggest con man. But in this deck, that man has that poor woman without her clothes under false pretenses. Anyway. Screeching far right. So they're making a whole lot of noise that doesn't do anything. They're just supposed to rattle everybody. But you are burdened by your garbage and your past, and your lawyers, they're going out for smoke. There's not much else they can do. I mean, they're just Georgia.
We've got more aspects to the case later on, but yeah.
Sorry, my stomach's growling. He's trying to say it's all nonsense. I can't be held accountable. He's scared. He's on the defensive. Yesterday, I was just getting straight up panic energy. And it's like, no. We're going to come back down to reality, and we're going to go through this. And you're going to go through this, bucko. That's what's going on in Georgia.
Woohoo! I'll take it. All right.
I might have to go make a cup of. I might have to put some water on for some tea because my stomach's growling. Sorry.
Cool. Go ahead. Here's a good spot to do that before we go to the next day. So,
all right, hang on 1 second.
Because that is all Trump is facing today, which is rather light considering the rest. And he does have Wednesday and Friday off from panic and indigestion. Bless. So, Jerry Baum says, I have presidential immunity and double jeopardy and no due process and no chickens. I can't. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy.
No chickens.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of chickens, Wheezy says they all have names. They think I'm their mom. They wait outside the kitchen door. If I go inside for too long, I'm freezing in the backyard in my sweater and robe because of the chickens. But yeah, John Bell, of course. Okay, and also the part of the petty with that is because John Bell is a Democrat and Landry obviously is Republican. And John Bell had his chickens and he has a little garden out there and, you know, doing his thing. And yeah, Landry's just being petty. But that's okay.
All right. The water is.
I want tea. Yes.
Yes. The water's in the microwave. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Like I said, my stomach just started growling, so I've got to do something. Okay.
I understand. All right. So at 16:17. On Tuesday, tomorrow, January 9th, oral arguments begin at the Washington, D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, where Trump will argue that he has universal presidential immunity from all criminal behavior conducted while president. This is the one where Jack Smith went to SCOTUS, and SCOTUS was like, no, you need to go through the proper channel. So it is said, now there's many aspects to this, but right now, it is said that Trump will attend this trial. Will he behave? Is he going to act right? Because that's not a given. At all.
No, that's true. That is absolutely. Let's just what the cards are saying, a card for the reading and then 3 cards. And what this is saying is he's going to have a little bit of a come down, a little bit of a step down.
Oh, bless.
He's thinking they're going to go in there and he's going to tell his lawyers to do the thing, and he's so precious and amazing, and he just ends up being a man. Just a man. Not a president, not a king. And between this fruits of labor and this 4 of Pentacles over here, this is costing him a lot of money. So this whole argument, this really stupid whole thing, he's going to end up getting it feels like just a step. I mean, you're not getting like the full knockdown of legal knockdown because we don't want any violence, but just one, he's going to get knocked down a step by the court, and this is going to cost him a lot of money, because it also feels because that means that it's going to go, all these other cases are going to go forward, and the bills are just piling up and piling up and piling up. Oh boy. All right.
Mm-hmm. Sherry, the link for for Landry's just pettiness is in the description box under CLUCK. Yeah, I almost put what the CLUCK, but I figured that might get me in trouble. So, y'all, I'm just gonna pre-apologize. I'm gonna get a complaint. I'm on one today. Y'all are getting Sarah today. So checking the chat. You're welcome, Sherry.
Had to change. That water is hot. I had to change mugs.
All right.
Flippity doodah. I like that.
That is cool, Veronica.
You're not going to get any complaints from me.
Oh,
I think you're great.
Well,
you know that.
You knew what you were getting when you asked me to come on with you. All right, y'all. At 20 minutes even. Time is flying today. That's okay. We got lots of stuff. So 20 minutes even. If it is denied, which it's probably going to be, the only option Trump has is for SCOTUS to put a stay on the case until they decide whether or not to take it up. It is something Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, has confessed he's worried about. Could this happen?
What, that he's worried they won't?
No, that will SCOTUS put a stay on the case, or will they just immediately decide whether or not to take it up? Will there be a delay in their decision to take it up?
Is Trump going to get the delay he wants?
Yeah. Well, actually, he doesn't want a delay. He wants them to just say, "No, I'm not. No, you're good."
Oh,
yeah,
you're done.
Yeah.
Everybody else needs to go away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But someone asked what kind of tea you're drinking.
Ah, yes.
Earl Grey. Hot.
Mm-hmm.
Only it's also partially. Well, he's had two different. Miles O'Brien,
Mm-hmm.
who has coffee double sweet. So I do Earl Grey hot, double sweet.
Very cool.
So, Supreme Court. That was confusing. Hang on. So he wants the Supreme Court. No, which one are we reading on?
Okay, so if the Court of Appeals denies his presidential immunity bid, right? Trump is worried that that SCOTUS is going to put a stay on the case indefinitely until they decide what they want to do, instead of automatically saying, "Yeah, we'll look at it." And so because he wants all this over ASAP. He doesn't want to wait. As far as the president, he wants to push everything else off, but he can't do that without this. This is the presidential immunity is the big thing that he's riding on. And so the longer this takes, the more he's stressed. Cherry bomb. I can't with that. No. Alina Habba is not going to be seen chasing him around with a bottle of Febreze. No, ma'am.
As far as speed goes, I did a card for reading and 3 cards, and then to get clarification, I did another 3 cards and a card for that reading. And both of the cards for the readings are suspension and isolation.
So it may be a stay.
All right. So, but those are the cards for the reading. The actual readings themselves, I got this on that first thing I pulled too, which is the Queen of Swords. So this would be swords would be lost stuff going forward, but it's let's just say on shaky ground. And there's a thief card. If they grant Trump immunity, Biden can turn around tomorrow and say
whatever he wants.
Let's arrest Trump. Let's just throw him in jail. Let's do whatever we want.
Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants. And that's, so then I wanted more clarification. And again, I don't know what's going on, but I'm getting Trump, one of the main, Trump is worried about his, remaining out of jail and all this kind of stuff, but it's the money that is keeping him up. Personally, I think his priorities are screwed up, but I guess the money's how he is going to pay lawyers who demand to be paid up front. Denied. And no, you're a person. Temperance. You live in your world. And your financial problems are about to get worse because you're going to have a whole bunch of cases. So will they? So ultimately, it looks like the Supreme Court will tell him, no, you don't get immunity. Now, will they do that quickly or will they wait a while?
Yeah, see, that's the problem. He wants it to be quickly because
Yeah.
that way it will shut these down and he's not continuing to pay his lawyers for all these cases.
Right.
Because every day that goes forward, he's just pouring money.
Mm-hmm.
But the SCOTUS doesn't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole.
Right.
So,
yeah, money,
Mhm.
money, and and behind that, more money and burden. But is lawyers, and I think we're going to get our entertainment out of this. So I don't think it's I don't think this is all going to go magically poof for Trump.
Mm.
Now the question is if they put this off, because they do have a majority on the I mean, how long could they put this off? Because their next, see, the thing is like, could they put it off until after the election? But this session ends in June, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And their next session starts in October. And I guess they could say, we're going to put this off until next session.
That would be, I don't know. I don't know enough about how SCOTUS works, but are you going to pull on that?
Yeah, because I think there are many, I think there are a bunch of cases, and there'd be a kind of uproar because there are a whole bunch of cases on Trump that need to go forward.
Mm-hmm.
So is the Supreme Court going to put their fingers in their ears? The six conservatives, or the five conservatives, the majority, and put their fingers in there and go la 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 la. I'm short a card. That usually means something's missing. It could be a justice. I've got things moving forward because the alternative is brutal.
Mm.
And there's hope because we're still a nation of laws, and we don't have kings. But
Zircon wants to know if maybe that missing judge is Clarence's recusal.
I don't have high hopes for him.
Yeah.
But I haven't read on it, so. But I don't know. We've got some disappointment. So it's not. This is not the end. You can tell from the number of cards I've pulled. There's something that isn't quite straightforward here.
It could be the energy is just not settled.
Lisa says SCOTUS has to review the case. Presidential immunity is not a state or a district issue. They have to review the case. Do they? I mean, I know what you're saying. Look, if I sound dubious or annoyed or something like, if I ever sound dubious or annoyed, it is never you. It is at these blankety blanks.
Well, SCOTUS said they didn't have to until it was seen properly elsewhere. So, oh, Cherry Berry, you're very sweet.
So I just like, okay, is there any more energy on this? I've got the energy just went Engoron.
Okay.
Okay. He's got other cases. hemmed in, tower, howling at the moon. I don't think it's going to go well. All right.
So needless
it's
to say, this isn't going to be his biggest headache this week.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I'm getting. And there's something.
Skew-whiff.
I know it's descriptive.
Yeah. It's a little skew-whiff. Yes. Okay. Well, now we're going through these in order that they're happening this week. So I know some of you have questions about other things, and we're getting there. Like I said, we're going in order of his no good, very bad week. So we're still on Tuesday. Tomorrow's a big day. I'm just saying. So at 30:45, also on Tuesday, there's a joint discovery status report due for the classified documents case at Mar-a-Lago. It's likely to lead to more questions about Judge Cannon's delay tactics. Will she be shown to be blatantly hindering the case and give Jack Smith grounds to petition for a new judge? Because this week, how she handles this, there's a lot riding. It will be very blatant with everything filed. If she's just putting this off to put things off to kiss his ear. So,
I don't know. I've read on her so many times, and what I ultimately got, at least what I used to get, was that she would reach a point where she was looking, she's in court, she's looking at Trump's lawyers and stuff, and she's like, give me something to work with here.
Yeah.
But there was only so much they could do or argue, and she was like, I have to give me something. Oh, you don't have anything. All right.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because I was just reading on it, but you asked that question, and I immediately thought she would love to put this off until the Supreme Court rules.
Right.
Because if the Supreme Court rules say Trump does not have immunity, her hands are really going to be tied.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd really like to. We would all really like her to not be on this case.
Yeah. That'd be swell.
Cannon.
I agree, Cherry Bomb. It's so funny how sneaky she thinks she is. It's like a kid that's sneaking in for brownies or little Debbie's out of the counter, whatever, when they think that you can't hear them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lord Lois, you got me. My children have me so messed up. You say TikTok, Cannon, and I'm like, she's got a TikTok? Ignore me.
No, never. Never, my friend.
SW, thank you. She says, Lisa, SCOTUS does not have to hear it. They just uphold the Circuit Court of Appeals ruling. It's all spelled out in the text of the Constitution, Article 1, Section 3, Clause 7, that he can be tried and punished. Very cool. We love you, SW.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
Cannon, huh? She's so full of herself.
Mm-hmm.
But she knows she's having some problems, and well, they're just haters. But this does not look good for Trump and his side. It just isn't. Card for the reading is their rancor. She is more, because she is totally for the far right. Yeah, she is the judge to get if you're on the far right, and she's willing to push whatever power she thinks she has for the benefit of the right. But you have to give her something to work with.
Yeah.
So will she be chucked off this case? Yeeted. Yeet off this case. Please. Soon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It to some extent, it feels like she can delay this past ridiculousness without actually ruling on something that he can take. But he's very smart. Yeah, that's the plan. And she will benefit from this. She will be lauded and but no matter what she tries to, oh my gosh, she is so dismissive of Smith and everything the Democrats do, but so dismissive of Smith. Yeah. But that isn't going to help Trump and his side. So I don't have her. I have her, I do for the reading, I have her isolated, but mostly I just keep getting cards of no matter how biased she is, and she is, Trump's side just gets hemmed in, held accountable, lots of worry. Yeah. That sucks. So I wish I could say, again, nice, clear, strong energy, but
apparently there's much amusement in chat over the term son of a biscuit eater. You can go beyond that. Son of a biscuit eating bulldog. That's when it's really bad. So, all right. Let's keep on rolling. 37:05. We're still on Tuesday, folks. We're going to be on Tuesday for a minute. Okay. So Tuesday.
Tomorrow.
Love you. Okay. At 37:05, Tuesday will also mark the date for the supplemental briefing on whether plaintiffs have standing in Oregon over Trump's challenge to the ballot due to Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. So Oregon is trying to remove Trump from the ballot as well. Will it add itself to the list of states refusing Trump?
I'm not feeling an immediate no.
Okay.
Huh. Should I use a different deck? Is that okay? Card for the reading would be great. That would be, we're going to be very happy. I'm getting he should be. But there's a lot of money in going into politicians' pockets and what have you. But no, he that's a center card. That's hemmed in. And then we've got lawyers. So on either side of the hemmed in, we've got lawyers making lots of money.
Oh, well, yeah.
And then 4 of Cups, and that's a card of refusal. The energy feels pretty clean, which is good. Veronica Johannes says, Washington too, please. I'm getting very strongly, there are going to be multiple states where they're using higher wisdom. He's going to be out in the cold. Now he'll try to pull a rabbit out of a hat somehow. But before we get to that, there are multiple states where he's going to get chucked off the ballot. So I'm not getting bad energy on that one. I'm going to get my Rider Waite. I don't know why these the energy. I don't know if it's just the energy. It's just me. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. While you're doing that,
Got it.
Linda H says, I wonder what Trump has on Cannon. Personally, I don't think he has anything on her. She's chasing clout.
She is a true believer.
Yeah, she's looking for clout and to be in his sphere.
Yeah,
So,
Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
If she made it there, she's a lawyer or she's a judge.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, old friend.
Okay, well, let's look at 4030.
Lynette, I agree. It's wonky energy. Yeah.
4040. If Trump loses the presidential immunity case on Tuesday, Fani Willis is ready to go ASAP.
Yay.
Could we be looking at new court dates soon? Because she's just waiting for folks to go, he's not immune. And she's like, go, boop. Like everything's drafted, ready to file.
Because isn't that case set for March 4th?
I think so, but she's there's some other stuff. I don't know. The article that I was reading just noted that she's ready to go. She's ready to move everything up. She's ready to get things done as fast as possible. She has no time to play.
Yeah, she's waiting for the higher authority. So she's waiting for this ruling. Let's just say she's not a fan of Trump.
Whew.
She is ready to rain on his parade. She is absolutely ready to go, her and her people. And as far as Trump pulling his shenanigans, his base of power, his usual way of messing things up, and I know normally this is a card of like vacation or retirement, but in this, when I'm reading on this stuff, quite often this is Mar-a-Lago. So this is my card for his base of power. And what I got for this was it's like she kicks the legs out from underneath him, not literally, but it's like she legally walks up and just it's like this with her leg and just knocks his legs out from underneath him legally. So yeah, she's ready to go, and it's. I'm so glad she's on our side. Her and Jack Smith. Oh man. Chutkan says I thought Fani was in August. I had some of this open in you're right. March 4th is Jack Smith, Judge Chutkan. Cannon. It was supposed to be.
It's hard to keep straight.
Yeah, August. Yeah, it was supposed to be August. David Willis asking for start of the Georgia election interference case, saying she expects to go into 2025. So yes, please. Can this start earlier? That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because I realized that it's in priority. These things go in priority.
Right.
So a federal case comes before a state case. But heck, if Cannon's just putting stuff off and putting stuff off and putting stuff off. Oh, she is so ready to go. On it. Queen of Swords. She is on it. And she's doing the right thing. She's got the light. She's lighting the way. She's waiting. Even if she has to wait alone, she will wait. And they can try communicating. I don't know. It's like this is just this would be the communication around Trump and his lawyers and what have you, but she's just on it. It's like, okay, we're going to pile this stuff on you. And she's just like, okay, done. Next.
I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do not mess with Fani Willis.
No,
she's on our side. Yeah.
All right. At 45 even. So Trump, bless, gets a day off on Wednesday. After his very big Tuesday, he gets a day to breathe. Thursday, however, the final arguments will take place in the civil fraud trial in the New York case against the Trump organization. Judge Engoron has already ruled that the ex-president was liable for fraud, but he'll rule on how much Trump will be forced to pay in damages. AG James says that with the pretrial interest he originally saw at $250 million would be closer to $370. Will Engoron hit Trump org's pockets to the max? Now, it's not guaranteed he's going to rule on Wednesday. He just has that option. As soon as final arguments are made, from that point forward, it's whenever he feels like going, okay, yeah. So we could be looking at Thursday, him just being like, mic drop, done.
Yeah, because what are the chances he's already written some of his final ruling?
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Scott. They're cheap and zenny.
I hope that he's. I'm hoping he's going to take apart Grifco.
And we've got to think about that later.
Yeah. What the heck? I'm trying so hard over here. What is going on?
While you're looking at that, I'm going to minimize for just a second and run around the corner. I'll be right back.
Sure. Sorry, we're a little disjointed today. And I'm the most disjointed. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Engoron ruling on Trump. Trump and Griftco. Sooner or later, $370 million, 250 more, less. Well, he can't let the corruption stand. They're ill-gotten gains. They are ill-gotten gain, legally heartbreaking, of fruits of labor. They weren't his labor. They weren't fair labor. This is, again, if it's not Mar-a-Lago literally, which is part of this case actually, then it's Trump's base of power and what have you. And the banks, ultimately, if he says this is okay, then all of the banks can be scammed on a regular basis. And that's not acceptable, especially since right now New York is some people argue it is the banking capital of the world. If Judge Engoron says, you can cheat the banks, you can lie to them, that could change the whole banking system in New York could change very quickly. And he's not going to mess with that. However, the first set of cards I pulled, I had Justice. Okay, that's him. He's being fair.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've got Quiet as a Tomb.
Mm.
And I'm wondering, it's like, okay, and the card for the reading was the Hangman. So these are both quiet cards of suspension. They're quiet. Mm-hmm. Well, this is quiet. This is suspension. Right. I don't know. He might be yelling his head off. I would be. You suddenly hang me up by my ankle. I'd be like, hey,
Right.
But that's just a card for the reading. But there's this, although that might have been Christmas. So Trump's a fool. But then we've got the Empress and the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
So again, Trump getting away with everything. And in the past, justice was very much denied. Now it makes sense.
Okay.
That happens a lot with cards, by the way. If you do readings yourself, write it down.
Yeah.
Sit down with it. Write down what cards you got. Take the time. You'd be amazed once you have to write out what it means. You would be amazed at what can come to you. It can't stand. It absolutely cannot. Trump has to be made example of.
Well, and the next few questions are still about this case.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to stop you.
No, please.
Okay. So at 51 even, Valerie wanted to know, since it isn't required necessarily to liquidate assets to pay New York the $370 million. Now, there's two different things we're talking about here. We're not talking about the dissolution of Trump org. That is cancellation of business licenses and whatnot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is taking away his ability to conduct future business.
Right.
We're talking about paying the fine. So it is not required to liquidate assets to pay the fine if you can come up with the money to pay the assets. Normally,
To pay the fines.
not required. Yeah. So pay that. I meant pay the fines, not the assets. Thank you. So since it's not required to liquidate assets to pay the $370 million, will he get someone to lend him the money like Tiffany or Saudi Arabia? And would we even know the lender? Basically, is he going to borrow it? And if so, will we know from who?
We're talking nearly $400 million.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to lend him $400 million?
You'd be surprised. Jared runs around and snatches billions from here, there, and everywhere else. So maybe. No.
First of all, he is so going to lose. Who is going to lose? That would be all 10 metaphorical swords in his back. Trying to pull a rabbit out of a hat, magician, some kind of partnership, but center card. He's going to be legally strung up by his heels. He has to walk away. And there's big old judgment coming. This is not. See, if this was surrounded by really, really good cards, it could be somebody willing to come along and leave something there so he can get out of this.
Mm-hmm.
But not when it's between two major arcana of being strung up by your heels and massive judgment on a huge spiritual scale. No, that's just you walking your happy rear end out because you're done.
Yeah. And I mean, at this point, he has nothing to offer anyone. I mean, when the
Right.
Saudis gave the family money before, he still had leverage, but it has become painfully obvious that he's not going anywhere. He has no, logically, why would you?
Yeah. Unless somebody's delusional enough to think he's really going to be president again. And if you've got nearly $400 million, chances are you've got either the sense or people around you with the sense to go,
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. All right. Well, at 54:30, Glenn was also wondering, also apparently the New York courts can decide, I mean, it's not necessarily, unless they make him sell assets, he doesn't have to sell assets, but the court could possibly declare that assets need to be sold to cover this debt or liquidated. So will he ended up be ordered to sell some of his properties in New York. What you got?
Okay, the least important thing, the card for the reading, is almost like the people on the right going, oh, this is so unfair. Filling whatever hours of programming right up front. Right up front. The Emperor. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Death card. That's everything laid out. I was quite pleased. Between these laid out and this laid out and a Knight of Pentacles, that's not just a sale, that's a fire sale. This is textbook. The person who has the stuff can't keep the stuff, has to get rid of the stuff. Everything on display, this is like a catalog of what's available. And then everything's to the store is all set up with the merchant. And then this is bring your money. This is textbook. He's going to have to sell his stuff. I agree, Mona. What a combo. Yeah. Massage goddess says, dang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a vague memory. It was in the mid-'80s of when Willie Nelson got into all that trouble with the IRS. Y'all remember any of that? You might have been overseas during that, when that happened. It was like late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in there.
I might have been.
Yeah. So Willie Nelson had an accountant that didn't do the accountant's job and ended up in millions of dollars of tax fraud, or like 14 million. And at this point in time, he didn't have 14 million or something like that. So I remember he recorded an album called the IRS Tapes and did a little commercial infomercial with it's like, hey, folks, this has happened. As you know, it's been all over the news, and now I've got to pay this money back. So this entire album, it's all going straight to the IRS.
I was not here for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. So I'm picturing Trump doing some form of commercial, like special NFTs for, I don't know.
You're not going to come up with an NFT. You're not going to sell enough NFTs to cover $400 million.
Yeah.
Wheezy Squeezebox says he did concerts to pay it off. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at 58:30.
Oh gosh, John France, can Trump sing like Taylor Swift?
No.
We do not want to see him in that spangly leotard.
No, we're. Oh. Okay. At 58:45.
I'm sorry, I'm just amusing myself at this point.
I know.
That particular
I'm
structured,
super
structured leotard type thing with the spangles, and then the super tight shiny, and the super shiny tights.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Cherry bomb. Trouble.
Yeah. Or what's that other line? Oh, now I just got the goats screaming on that. From where people did the goats version of the Trouble, Screaming Goats. But no, the anti-hero song.
I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he'd never say that.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry, AJ. I apologize. Why, Autumn? Why? I understand.
All right. At 1 hour even. Okay. The moment the ruling has been done with Judge Engoron, the gag order against the court staff will lift.
Oh,
And it's highly expected for Trump to go after the clerk again. It's unclear whether or not she will seek her own defamation litigation against him once the case is over. Will she?
I'm sorry, everybody. It just came into my head, and I just thought it was funny. I think I just lost viewers.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
All right, I'm reading on.
You're reading on whether the clerk, and Judge Engoron's poor clerk, is going to end up suing Trump.
He's caused her so much grief. She could. And Engoron would be a witness in the case.
Mm-hmm.
Trump, you moron. You didn't think this through, did you? It's sleepless. She's trying to do her job. He has all of these people. He's got really scary situation for her. But if she chooses to go, if she makes the choice to take this to court, she's got a judge who's going to be her witness against Trump. And he's going to lose. And I mean, he's going to lose bigly. You moron.
Yes, SW. I do agree that everything that Trump is going on is all sorts of cattywampus. Mm-hmm. Cattywampus is an applicable term.
Yes, and Isabel, thank you. That's very sweet. It depends. It depends if it goes away.
Okay.
She's waiting.
Okay.
Because here's the other thing you have to remember. The gag order might be lifted, so he might mention her. But the Trump, the businessman, the weed of crime that bears bitter fruit.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to find out that crime does not pay. The shadow knows. Mm-hmm. So does Judge Engoron. That's a lot of burden. He's going to have more important things to think about, to worry about. He's going to have a big burden. Bigly burden. Sleepless.
Joyce Matthew says she hopes that the clerk uses E. Jean Carroll's lawyer.
Yes.
They're all in New York.
Find out who that is. I don't have money cards here in the sense of her getting money.
Right.
But she's not only has she had her moment in the sun, but she's also she's also has a lot of support. And it's New York, and obviously this is what Trump has done to her is wrong. I'm just saying, I think in New York they might be used to a little more rough and tumble kind of ways of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
She has a lot of support around her.
Mm-hmm.
If she called 911 and said, I am Judge Engoron's clerk and there is somebody outside my house trying to break into my house, the police are going to back her in a heartbeat.
Okay.
So she actually she has more support around her than we think.
Yeah.
And
so she's better protected than like, Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss were when Ruby.
oh heck yeah. Whole different
so she's
whole different ballgame. Even just physicality of how close the nearest police are at any one point, at any one time. Card for the reading is this. I think he's gonna have bigger problems. She's got a lot of support. He's gonna have bigger problems. And again, right underneath that, burden. His burden. So it feels like she's going to be okay. But I'm not getting her suing him unless he pushes it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to see how that plays out. We have 2 more questions, and I know we're running over, but if you're good, I would prefer to get these done. Okay.
Yeah, so would I. And I apologize that I had to step away to get something to drink. So absolutely.
All right, so 1 hour and 6 minutes even. Ooh, okay. Trump is expected to appeal the ruling once it's finalized.
Yeah.
Okay. But the problem is the New York Appeals Court has already upheld Engoron's ruling that Trump was liable, that he's guilty. The court would only be able to decide if the money amount that Engoron decides on is correct. Will Trump score a win there? Yes, bless his heart. Bless his little continental heart. I just cannot. Poor little thing.
He's hoping for his ship to come in, but I don't think the ruling's going to go so well. It's very much going to go in Letitia James' favor. It's all coming to light. And he ends up sleepless nights. And even after that, he's got more legal stuff coming at him.
No.
Doesn't look good for you, Dumpy.
Nope.
Man.
Well, that gets us through this week, but there's one other legal thing that I wanted to look at.
Absolutely. I do just want to thank everybody for all your kindness and sticking with us. So thank you.
You're awesome.
Yes.
At 1 hour and 7 minutes 50.
Pat Lyle says you're in vacation mode. Am I?
Yeah,
probably.
A little bit. It's cool.
A little bit.
I'm glad. Okay, so Judge Chutkan was apparently swatted over the weekend.
No.
But the article is a little weird. When I read the entire article, she was swatted, but they were going by public records. And so they swatted a home that belonged to her, but it was actually her mother-in-law's ex-boyfriend or something, is a person that was living in the house or something along those lines. Everybody's safe.
Good.
But so they couldn't even swat correctly. I mean, yeah. So, but is this going to affect how she presides over the case going forward? Because she's been giving him, not necessarily that she's been giving him leeway, but she seems to have been a little hesitant on completely slamming the hammer down on different things. So that way, it wasn't, she's straddling a fence here that is sort of necessary in a way.
Yeah, she's been trying to be reasonable. Thank you, Jana. Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
And Jana is asking, what is swatting? It's when you call the SWAT team. You call into the police and say there's an active shooter. So they don't just send in the police. They actually get they get the SWAT team going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it can get very dangerous because you've got a SWAT team
beating down your door.
Beating down your door.
Yeah.
So Yeah, the SWAT team went into a house. Yes.
Yes.
Cherry Bomb is saying the Airbnb house. Okay. So is Chutkan going to say, oh, heck no?
Yeah. So now this has become super personal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Cherry Bomb, never do this.
For one, it's unsafe for everyone involved. I mean, especially when it was done to Marge, because not only is it unsafe for whoever opens the door, because if you twitch the wrong way and the SWAT people are thinking something is happening, you can be shot. But also it's unsafe for the law enforcement people, because if you've got folks like Marge who are packing and somebody tries to bust in their house, people can get hurt across the board. So it's a waste of resources. It's dangerous for everybody involved. It's just it's yuckadoo. Don't do it.
The very first thing that comes to my mind when someone mentions swatting is, let's just say, unalive, tiny beings.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Thank you, Isabel. Thank you.
Y'all are so sweet.
And thank you for all the thumbs up. I really, really appreciate it. And the subscribing. Thank you. Judge Chutkan, he was already on thin ice with her. Yeah. And she's been trying to be very fair. She has, no matter what, and she's been dealing with his lawyers, and she's been trying to be as reasonable as she can be. He doesn't think so, because he wants everything to just go poof, which it's not going to do. But let's just say that she's still trying to be reasonable, but ultimately she's going to have rulings. And they're not going to be subtle. Hello, justice and judgment cards together at the end, and that being her decision in the middle. Yeah, this was a bad idea for him. But then again, when has he ever had a good idea? By the way, those with extremely strong stomachs, so you are warned. Ben Mysalis and Midas Touch was looking into, how do I put this in a nice way? Trump's girlfriend before Melania, who he was introduced to when she was 20. But this woman had already been with Epstein for many years. So if you've got a really strong stomach, it's worth listening to. If you do not, just know that a lot of stuff's coming out. So, and I'm really wondering if more is going to come out. More. I just want to pull 3 cards. What cards on is more going to come out on Dumpy's? Yes and no. Ew. He's gross. And it's not a good look. But yeah, just know that there's B-Smith says it is big. Guardian investigation too. Yeah. Right now it's dodgy. The Guardian investigation, because they usually do a really good job. I'm still getting, it's been quiet for a long time. You do have some women willing to come forward, and he is knocked down to just be a man. It's the bigger situation that gets people get knocked down, but this is just some of the Teflon is still sticking to Don in certain areas, and that stinks.
SW, we looked at that yesterday, sweetheart. That was like number 1 yesterday.
Yeah. Yep. But anyway, well, that's going to do it for us for today. But thank you so much for being here. And Sarah, Miss Sarah, thank you.
Oh, you are most welcome.
Those were great questions. Thank you. And thank you for organizing everything. And Amor, I'm confused what you're talking about. Clarify, please. What do you mean? I don't know.
I think
what you're referring to.
There's more information coming out. The last thing she was reading on was there's more information coming out about Trump's involvement in Epstein's extracurriculars.
Yeah.
And you can find that information through The Guardian or on Midas Touch. So
yeah. Yeah. But trust me, there's trouble coming for Trump.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So we'll be back tomorrow.
Yes.
And Sarah's with us all week. Yay. So it is 1:26 p.m. here in Chicago. At 3 o'clock, we will both be over on Creative Sprints, on the Creative Sprints channel here on YouTube. Other than that, yesterday I did take the first of Johnny's tarot classes, and it is excellent. He is an excellent teacher. Highly recommend. Johnny's going to be opening up his next tarot class. Hang on. I made a note. So I recommend it, and he said his next class is going to be, my notes are way back here, on March 3rd through April something. But March 3rd he's going to start his next tarot class. I highly recommend it. All right, just want to throw that out there. If you need any personal readings, Jen Lynn from Jen Lynn Tarot, she definitely has openings in March. She might have some in February. Lori from The Way of Positive Change also does personal readings. Mm-hmm. So there's that. So other than that, just remember you're not alone. We are in this together, and there are good days ahead. There really are. Mm-hmm. All right, so take care, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.